In this video I'm going to give you an overview of the various reports that the EZAnalyze TimeTracker can generate for you, hopefully quickly and easily. We'll just go through them in order. So the first report that you might want to make is a summary report, which is going to capture all of the activity that you've recorded. It will create a report based on that. So all you need to do is, when this dialog box pops up, click on Create Report, and give it a moment here because it's doing a lot of math and creating charts and stuff for you. So okay, so when it's ready, you'll see the view change slightly to this. And here in the beginning, it gives you an overview of your data. The data first contact was recorded, so it gives you the range of dates, number of minutes of group counseling, and how many students. And this FaceTime with students in group counseling gets at while you spent 222 minutes of your time counseling students. When you multiply that by the number of students that you had, it comes out to be 1,647 minutes. So the students received 1,647 minutes of counseling while you spent 222 minutes of your own time doing that. I hope that makes sense. Individual counseling is listed here with the number of students. Tells you how many different students you met with in both group and individual sessions, and how much time was recorded for activities that you spent not engaged with students. Okay, and then you have this nice little graph here, which just gives you a visual overview of how much time you spent in individual counseling, group counseling, or basically non-counseling activities that you recorded using the counselor time tracking function. All right, and then we get the detailed breakdown, where it breaks things down by the reason listed. So here, in terms of time not with students, these are all how much time you spent for each selected reason altogether. Okay, same thing for the counseling sessions that you recorded. It tells you the number of students and the number of minutes for each listed reason. It's a nice quick way of summarizing your data if you want to try and figure out how much time you spend engaged in responsive services and conflict resolution in particular. You can look at it here. That's conflict resolution. Here is crisis counseling, and here is how much time you spent in personal social counseling. Okay. It also gives you a quick summary of excuse me, the groups that you ran. Number of students, again, their face time, and counts time is the counselor's time, how much time you spent, versus face time, how much time they received, the cumulative total of time they received. Okay. And then, again, we have another listing here of the number of students for individual counseling sessions and the number of minutes for each selected reason. Then we have this same information that's presented in these charts is presented in these tables up here, is presented in graph form, visual form for you. Again, same exact information as what was provided above, just sometimes it makes more sense to look at it in a graph instead of a chart. So that is the summary function. Okay, we can keep this here and it will be saved with your time tracker file, or you can safely delete it if you just want to regenerate it again later. Okay, so now we'll do an individual student report. These are useful. Two ways to create this report. One is to show the report on screen, which is useful if you have a student coming in and you want to know what you met with what you talked about the last time you met with them. You might just want to select the student and show the report on the screen that says here that last time you met with Cheryl, you discussed the impact of AP versus non-AP classes. Okay, click OK, and then exit, and then you're done. If you want to create a printable report, which is useful if perhaps you're having a parent meeting, we'll use Cheryl again. We can create a printable report, and what it does is creates a new sheet here, which we can then just go ahead and print using File Print. Print this out and give it, or at least use it for our own personal use, or we may consider giving it to a parent during a parent meeting to let them know kind of specifically when we've met with their child and for how long and about what. Okay. The daily activity report allows you to choose one day of all the dates that you have recorded and create a report that summarizes everything that you did that day. So we'll pick the 19th here and create a report, and this tells us in some detail who we met with, from the students that we met with, what time did we meet with them at, how long was the session, what was the reason, and if there were any notes recorded, what were the notes. And it will do that for every single student that you met with that day, as long as you recorded it here in the time tracker. We'll also give you a quick report of the other counselor activities that you might have recorded for that day as well. Okay. So we'll go back to the main tab. Again, we can delete these if we like later. That's the daily activity report. Group counseling report is useful for if we want to summarize the activities that we've engaged in with a group. Here we'll create a report for our lunch group. And it creates a new tab here, and it tells us what day we met with them on, start time, length, who was in attendance that particular day, and any notes that you might have recorded. Okay, these next two functions, list of students seen and list of students unseen, can be useful, or at least I hope they are. You can choose to select a date range or select all dates. For this report, we'll create a list of the students who we saw on the 17th. Okay. We can choose that as our end date too. We're only interested, we just want to know who do we meet with that day. You could do that through a daily activity report. In that case, let's say, who do we meet with this week? 16th to the 19th. Create a printable report, and just gives us a list of who we met with. Doesn't give us all the other information. It's a nice quick list of who exactly we met with. This might be useful for if you have an administrator who asks perhaps what you've been doing or what students you've been meeting with. You could give them this without worrying about breaking confidentiality. For the list of students you haven't seen, well, I've only got about a week's worth of data in here right now, and it's completely made up data. Let's say that you need to meet with all of your students every quarter, or you're getting near the end of the year, and you'd like to know if you've met with all of your students that year. You could select all dates to create a list of the students who you haven't seen. And in this case, this just checks. It basically checks the list of students who have data recorded versus those who don't, and creates a list of the ones who don't have any data recorded for you. Okay. Our last report is a reason report. So let's say that you're thinking about starting a new group to address the problems that you've seen with conflict resolution. So you could go here and create a printable report of all of the students who you've seen for conflict resolution. You might consider starting a group with them. Okay. And again, we can delete all of these safely and just regenerate them later. And that is all of the reports that the time tracker creates for you. Thank you.